Well, hello, everyone. This is Nick Michalak and the exceptional Steve Frazier.
Well, hello, everyone.
And,
Happy Valentine's Day.
happy.
Or unhappy, depending
on... I'm trying to figure out where to introduce this one, because we don't really like this film, but Steve came up with the idea, because it's been a long time since it did some, like, dog shit.
I think it's been 2 years since we did the original.
Yeah.
And I thought, why don't we just do a comparison video?
Sure.
Both of us haven't seen it since
the theater. In 2009, so 13 years.
Yeah, so we're in for a treat.
Yeah, so, guys, so if you have your own copy of the 2009 My Bloody Valentine 2D or 3D, we're doing 2D.
We do not have a 3D TV.
No. But regardless, so get your subtitles turned on to follow along, get your timestamp over to 0, if you got the disc, make sure you get past the DTS 14-second intro, get to the proper timeline. It's about an hour and like 41 minutes. So we can get going with a countdown. So in 3, 2, 1, play.
I saw this for free because it was still in my run. And I actually didn't even see it here. I went to see it. I visited one of my movie theater friends who lived in St. Louis at the time.
Okay.
And I went to visit her, and the day that I got there, she had to work the rest of the afternoon. So I met her at the theater, and she said, well, go kill some time. What do you want to watch? Mm-hmm. And she let me go watch a movie.
Yeah.
And I said, well, this is in 3D. I remember liking the original.
Yeah. And they're already starting right up front with the 3D gimmicks and all this stuff.
Tom Atkins.
The best part of the movie. Best part of any movie.
And they're really opening it up with like all exposition here, right?
Yeah, it's a little. I don't know how. I don't think it's where you want to start a horror film.
So lone survivor, mind collapsed, but they already blamed it on somebody else, right?
I'm trying to follow here.
Is that what it said? I don't know. All right, well, Harry Warden did it.
Yeah.
So, I remember one of the criticisms that we had in the original.
Sure.
Was that as soon as there was a death in the mine, or I guess it wasn't even a death. It was the heart appeared, as in the gift box.
Right.
Both the mayor and the sheriff both immediately said, "It must be Harry Warden."
Yeah.
Like they didn't try to do their job and investigate. They jumped right to, "Here's this guy fits our narrative. Let's just go after it." That's it. So, wait, so Harry Warden's dad owns the mine? I thought it was the Hanniger mine. I'm already confused. Well, whatever. I guess we're... And that's a flashback.
Yeah, I felt like
so,
one.
Why did we bother with all of that exposition at the beginning when you're just going to show it to us 5 seconds later?
Yeah, I don't like the...
You know what I mean?
I don't like the structure of the opening in a sense there, because look, a lot of horror films, if they're going to do something like that, they at least start with the horror stinger at the beginning thing, like Friday the 13th or the Hills Have Eyes remake or Halloween. They'll start out getting you into the horror first, then they'll kind of transition into a little bit of the exposition, get the story kind of laid out for you.
Right, folklore, whatever,
right.
Yeah. Well, okay. A lot of 3D. Remember, this is the apex of 3D.
Yeah, I saw this in 3D, and it was just the whole thing. It's like...
Me too.
I've got the glasses on. It's like, everything kind of looks out of phase. It's not lining up properly. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if that was a projection issue or what the hell it was, because the same thing happened when I saw the Final Destination movie in 3D, the fourth one, and it's like, this just doesn't work.
I wonder if it was just your eyes. Whoa, holy shit.
What the fucking hell?
He literally broke a man in half.
That dummy looks really bad in
it,
HD.
It does. And it just keeps going. Look at all this.
What the Christ?
What the carnage?
The Terminator didn't look like this after the freaking hospital, the PD massacre.
Looks like all of those hearts have been ripped out, I guess. Is that the idea?
Christ.
I mean, that's a pretty looking shot.
Yeah.
With the dripping blood and the whatnot. But I mean, look at this. Good Christ. Yeah, all of the chests. Oh, yeah, thanks, Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins with a mustache. Always better than Tom Atkins without, yeah.
That dude shouldn't be on the job no more. Is he a security guard? He's got to be the security guard.
He's got to be. He doesn't look a day over 85.
He's got a county patch on him. Nah.
He does have a county patch.
This guy should be like retired 20 years ago.
Well, most of these movies have, the old timer that has been around since the previous Carnage.
Right.
But Tom Atkins was also around in the previous Carnage.
Yeah, he would have been.
So
they showed that
his pictures,
in the 3D exposition dump.
He just said, "Come on, Irene." I mean,
you're almost there.
I assume that's her name, but
yeah.
The irony.
Yes.
What is this? That's a Ford something. I don't recognize this car at all.
Oh.
Very old-timey. I dig it, though. See, we live in a major metropolitan area.
Yeah, we don't know this culture.
This is so foreign to us. This small town, let's meet by the bridge, by the train tracks, and have a late night party.
Right.
Like, that just doesn't happen where we're from.
No. Yeah, speaking of Final Destination, Kerr Smith there. Who was that? Carter, I think he was. The big asshole in the first Final Destination movie.
Oh, and the guy in the blue, right? Not this guy.
Yeah, no.
Him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He was a dickbag.
Well, every movie's got to have one.
Sure.
And it kind of looks like this guy is going to be it for this movie.
Yeah, Jensen.
Although is he the main character?
He ends up being that to a degree, yeah.
Screenplay by Todd Farmer. Which kind of explains things.
I don't know who Zane Smith was, but sure.
Well, it's probably no good.
Probably not good enough to offset the bad. If there's anything I can...
So already a difference between this one and the original is that the Harry Warden character is still
lurking,
right.
Yeah.
So in the original, Harry Warden had not, he got shipped off to an insane asylum.
You never even see the character really until the end flashback sequence.
Well, a little bit at the very, very first scene.
Okay.
But yes, you're right. That is one of those movies that kind of wraps it up with all new scenes in the last little bit.
This one was Zane Smith's only credit worth at all, period.
Oh, okay, then.
So, nothing.
All right.
Absolutely nothing.
I guess, yeah, it didn't occur to me that this was the entrance to the mine. All right. It felt very, down by the train tracks. Turns out it's the entrance to the mine, which I felt like is normally a much bigger, thing than just, in between some rocks down a dirt road. But what do I know about small town living?
I'm looking at this Blu-ray. It ain't very good. This transfer's kind of really overly compressed.
It's grainy, which I don't know if that has something to do with the...
It's Lionsgate. They don't give a shit. That looks bad.
That looks terrible.
Oh, it's fucking awful. Oh.
Now, this is one of those situations where in this era between 2008 and 2011,
yeah, right.
Everybody went out of their way to produce movies for 3D.
Yeah.
As opposed to just making a good movie and then having it...
Right, because they shot these on like 4K digital cameras. I imagine they were 3D native. I don't think they do a post-conversion if you're already shooting it digitally.
Right, I mean, it was marketed as a 3D event.
Yeah.
And so you got to think that, in this era, the scripts were written
pretty bare bones
for the 3D. It was like
more gimmicky than story.
Let's not come up with a story and then include some good 3D elements. It's here. Let's make a list.
How do we get to the gag?
Right. Let's make a list of 3D gags and then piecemeal a story around it.
Yeah.
And then you have results that aren't even that spectacular.
Right.
Now, if you're watching it in 3D like we did,
sure. Even
though that looked terrible, it was still shocking enough and effective enough in 3D that you probably didn't notice how bad it looked because you were...
There is that problem, and you have the reverse problem when you do the post-conversion ones, where it's like, okay, we just shot it flat, and then we kind of had to go in and have to cut things out and create artificial dimension.
Right.
It's like, I went to see the Jurassic Park 3D one. It's like, this was not shot for that type of thing. It's like there's one shot where they're sitting in the entire park where they're going around getting a tour of it, and there's like this big pole right in the middle of the frame that's out of focus, but it's sticking right in my face.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not designed for this.
This really kind of went sideways in a hurry here. We're 10 minutes, 12 minutes in.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is still a prologue in the film, because the rest of the film takes place a longer period of time after these events. Where Atkins ends up being retired, Kerr Smith becomes like part of the police force and everything. So this is not even.
Oh shit! That looks awesome.
Because they did do practical effects on this thing, but obviously the CGI starts to really kinda.
Like, that's an awesome.
Yeah.
Shovel to the face. Like, that's cool.
Now it looks like shit.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I know.
It just. But.
You're right, though.
But in that regard, oddly enough, it's kind of like that Friday the 13th reboot they did, where it's like the first 20 minutes is the prologue, then they eventually get to the proper story.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
And that came out in the same era.
Like a month later.
Oh. I don't know if that would happen. Mm-hmm. But even if we're assuming this is the actual Harry Warden that just...
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
There he goes.
Okay.
That's not a terrible 3D gag. That looks fine enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea of, throwing the axe. Like, they picked at least an okay thing. I don't know, I'm just so off-put having the original... Now, again, let's pretend the original doesn't exist.
Sure.
And just tell me a story.
Yeah.
I'm already kind of confused as to why this man... woke up in the hospital, murdered everybody, and is now
here.
Is now here and is murdering teenagers for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on paper, it doesn't work.
No. Well, like I'm saying, as this thing is like, this is the setup for like the original film, because Jensen Ackles is playing the same character who leaves the town, then he comes back, and he's trying to reconnect with the old girlfriend and stuff like that. It still follows those beats.
Okay.
But now we're getting a much longer, prolonged thing, like what happens before he leaves. So it's kind of
what caused him to leave. I see. I see. So are we to believe then that this scene is happening not that long after the original
flashbacks at the start?
Right, like the original disaster in the mine that he got blamed for.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, is that in the same...
It's a little...
Because I was under the impression that this was, like, the 10 or 20 years later.
I don't think you really need all this much setup.
Like, you spent...
It's almost too much setup.
The entire opening credits with newspapers and all of that.
Right.
As...
Because you're setting up Harry Warden, now you're setting up Ackles' character here. I think the character's name is Tom, so...
We'll find out.
Yeah. It was like, okay, you're setting up the big villain, now you have to set up the main character, then we're going to jump forward here.
The murder capital.
It doesn't look like Detroit. Yeah, 10 years now.
10 years, okay.
So it's just like, I don't know.
All right.
Feels like it just kind of feels like you're supercharging the start of the film with a little more than you have to. But then obviously they're going to try and do like swerve here or there, like who?
And this is him
it Harry?
again, right?
Is it not Harry?
This is him. Yeah.
Yeah, Kerr.
Axel Palmer.
Axel. So he's now the sheriff.
Okay, and Axel is the name of... They stole that. I actually just rewatched the original.
Yeah.
Axel is the friend...
the ornery one.
The one that ended up being the killer.
Yeah.
In the original film. The new boyfriend...
Yeah.
The
returning one, yeah.
No.
Okay, so
right.
he's the guy who was there in the town the entire time.
Right, and
had the really bad fashion going on with the weird leather and the flannel stuff.
Yes. So... And is this is the same girl, right?
Yeah.
So we're following that same story where she is now gone with the friend.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm following along. And the other guy, Jensen Ackles, has gone away and is going to be coming back to the town.
Yes.
Now, in the original, just for comparison's sake, the Harry Warden character was not actually a murderer in the original incident, the inciting incident. There was an accident in the mine, and he survived by cannibalizing the other people, like, in there. And and the reason that the whole, like, he was mad because everyone was at the dance.
Okay, and no one knew about the
and not saving him.
Yeah.
So a year later, they have another dance. He's pissed. He goes back and murders everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Because the dance is the trigger of you caused my accident.
Yeah, okay.
So at least he had an inciting incident that caused his vitriol towards the community.
Yes.
And in this case, they've made Harry Warden just a murderer for the sake of murdering.
Yeah.
Which is a distinct difference. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it in perspective.
Different columns here.
Right. So, in this story, Harry Warden has just trauma. He's just a bad guy, just a serial killer, so to speak, mass murderer.
And the original, they kind of locked him up in a mental facility, and then they hear he's escaped, and they start thinking things.
Well,
that's kind of why they get into thinking it's him behind it, because
they can't find any record.
He's unaccounted for.
Right. I missed what she said. Now, this looks like a mine.
They did shoot in a real mine over in Pittsburgh.
That makes sense. that is a, West Virginia coal mine,
Sure.
Pittsburgh mine. Like, those are really...
Yeah, the big
heart of the mining community. Still got the same car 10 years later. Look at that. They left the name Hanniger. That's from the original. And in the original story, this character who is returning home is the son, like he's related to the Hanniger folks, the mine people. Tunnel number 5, that's where it happened. Yeah, this does look like Pittsburgh. Or at least suburban Pittsburgh.
Yeah, yeah.
I got some friends in Pittsburgh. It's a nice town. Very blue collar. I assume this is her dad.
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. I see. Father died. They didn't really do a good job of explaining that. I think, how do you feel about the name Harmony for the town?
I can get them changing because Valentine Bluffs feels a little on the nose.
It does.
On the nose.
Yeah, I agree.
But Harmony's also like, that's also a little still on the nose, not quite on the nose as much.
It's just off the nose.
Off the center, yeah. It's just like,
Yeah, it's there he is. Right there in the box. Oh, see? It's like we scripted it.
No. We could do better than that. We could do better than this.
Well, probably. Probably.
We'd at least know not to make it quite so bad. So problematic.
We haven't had a 3D gag in a long time. I feel like we're overdue for one. And, I mean, a smart person, a smart filmmaker would have 3D effects throughout and not just in the horror moments to try to keep it, I don't know.
Utilize the cinematography to a certain degree. If you're doing like an establishing shot, use something with a little bit of depth of field. Have some kind of gag there. Some funny thing.
This, like the dog running is like this is probably. God, I love a midget.
Right.
There's two real I guess there's two kinds of the 3D effects. There's some that rely solely on stuff coming out at you.
The gimmicky and the atmospheric would be the way to break it down.
I agree. And the atmospheric, I feel like, is more deep.
Yeah.
Like you can see into the screen.
Right.
As opposed to really relying on stuff coming at you.
Right.
I prefer the more atmospheric, as you put it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's the writer.
That guy is the writer?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He sticks himself in the film again.
Is this the guy that wrote one, or is this...
This is Farmer.
Oh, that's Todd Farmer.
On the bottom, yeah.
Not her, obviously.
The Steve Austin wannabe.
Right. And of course he gives himself a love scene.
Yeah, it gives him the scene where you got to ride around with a naked woman. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, just...
Unbelievable. That totally threw me off, by the way. I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, the best use of the atmospheric, so to speak, the depth of field...
For sure.
3D I ever saw was in Avatar.
That's what I was going to bring up. Even though I haven't seen it, I've heard a lot of people describe it that way. I don't need his ass on the screen.
Well, just look at her end.
Well,
fuck's sake. He's got no hair on his ass. It's very and Avatar, I thought, was the best 3D I've ever seen.
Sure.
I loved it. He kind of looks like Tyler Mane or, one of those...
And more of the build, yeah. Tyler's had a few different looks over the years.
He looks better with clothes on, let me just say that.
Well, yeah, sure. Looks better when he's not on screen at all.
Unbelievable. His personal collection. What a dick! He films her, illegally by the way, and then throws a 20 at her. Good Christ. You gotta be kidding me. She should kill him. Yeah. I love it. Shoot his dick off. What is that statue in the back? I love that she's going out naked. God damn, that's good. Man, hats off to Todd Farmer, the most brilliant screenwriter of all time.
Well, it was, I read that it was the actress's choice to do this naked because she felt like it added more to her character or something like that.
I think it's brilliant.
Whatever the case is, because she's going to die here in about 2 seconds.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, that, to me, is character development without exposition, right?
This thing's not getting on USA Network, I'll tell you that much. That looked
so bad.
That was so awful. And it wasn't even an effect. It was just her throwing the damn gun at him.
That looked bad too.
Yeah, that. This
looks good.
That's better. The insertion of it into the head. That's. Gary Tunnicliff's usually really good, but it's looking really fucking rubbery, man.
Now, let's go with the assumption
she's moving those heels real good.
Let's go with the assumption that that's not Harry Warden.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not. Now, I don't remember who it is. If it's following the same cadence as the original, it's the sheriff, but I don't know that, and I don't know if you want to spoil it.
It's up to you. I know what's going on.
Well, I didn't pre-read, so...
Well, I'm still remember from when I saw it. Okay. I know what the deal is.
I don't recall, so I'll be surprised. You hold it in.
That's cool.
But we have not been told in this scenario what has happened to Harry Warden.
Right. He just disappeared 10 years ago. No one's seen shit about him.
Now, he looked to be in his late 40s then, so I can't imagine...
Least, yeah.
I can't imagine,
58-year-old guy walking around. Of course, now they made this new Chainsaw Massacre movie where Leatherface is probably like 75.
Oh, yeah. Another direct
sequel. Joke of a franchise that is.
Well, I'll probably still watch it.
Yeah, well. We gotta fill up the space on the freaking schedule somehow eventually.
I do think that the look of the miner with the face mask...
They kept that very straight from the first.
Agreed,
original.
And I think it's actually a really effective disguise.
Yeah.
It is one where it could be anybody.
Yeah.
And it's also really scary.
Yeah.
And so on the whole, I think that is a very iconic look, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Even though the original is, I'll say, an average to slightly above average, 80s slasher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't think that sparks and all that stuff happens the way that...
Yeah.
Like, that's not how electricity works. Oh, hi.
Oh.
The light.
Yeah.
The nose hose. Like, all of it just is so creepy.
Like I said, they show this on USA Network. They're kind of like, hold 10 minutes out of the damn movie. There's no way you cut around this.
Yeah, you almost have to cut out this entire sequence, right?
Yeah.
Or are they able to, like, digitally give her a bra or something?
I mean, they could have still looked like junk.
Or just...
I I mean, typically, if it was a short piece of nudity, they'd probably shoot it both ways just to be safe.
Right,
but this is way too much of a sequence to do that.
She's been naked for like 10 minutes.
Right, that's the thing. They're not going to go back and reshoot all this stuff with her clothes on just to save it for network broadcast.
Right. Now, the fact that they're repeating this, oh shit, that did not look like the blood splatter from that particular...
Why would it splatter right across? I don't know where the splatter's supposed to go. It's supposed to go back onto the guy.
Right. And also, it was in a very specific clump.
Right.
On the picture.
Yeah. Blood doesn't shoot out sideways. It goes kind of outwards from where you stabbed him through. So, oh my fucking Christ.
Look at the gratuitousness. Now, when I recently rewatched the original, I watched the unrated director's cut.
The extended cut,
that has, the extra violence and gore. Man, it was some top-notch, fun stuff back then. Cool. It was extra gory and extra gross, and I really enjoyed it. Why is that photo of her, it doesn't even say, manager on duty or anything. It's just strange. A photo of her.
Very, very odd.
Welcome back, sir. Now, we're assuming that this is the first time that they've seen each other in 10 years, so...
that would be the assumption.
It would be a little awkward. Well, there we go. Now she's confirmed it. Mm-hmm. Why did you go? And so they're keeping this pretty, I guess, equal or, parallel to the original. And I'm okay with it so far. At least it's not as good of a job with the story. Mm-hmm. Telling the story. The overall premise is the same.
Right.
Which I am okay with. But I feel like they haven't done as good of a job with the, execution.
Right.
It's been a little...
There's a little too much...
exposition heavy.
Too much mileage you have to go through to get to the point of things.
Right. Stickers. Chiclets. I like that house. Mm-hmm. Sheriff. Clorox and Lysol all turned just so you can see them.
In terms of trying to make them look 10 years older, I think they did an okay job with her because she just had her hair pulled back in the opening sequence, so it gives a little something extra. Kerr, they gave him the beard, but Jensen, they really just did nothing.
Nice touch. They even wrote 1999 on the back of the...
Okay.
On the back of the photo. Look at this photo there on the right with the tape measure on her ass. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, I don't know if it's all... as much as I love photographs on the wall and charts and graphs...
Sure.
I don't think you put crime scene photos like that up on the wall in the office.
I don't think you do that, no.
I think that's... No. I don't think you can. Sure, they're in a manila folder.
Sure.
But I don't think they're... You can't just stick... this naked lady's corpse picture up on the wall.
Yeah, I watch enough Law and Order. They really don't do that.
It looks great. It's a great visual for us.
Sure.
But... So, Harry Warden is officially dead.
When did that get established? Just now?
Just now. He's dead, remember.
That doesn't fit, because last we saw him, they were shooting at him and he was running away in the mine. So when did he die?
Unless it's supposed to be a swerve where we go, oh, he's dead, but it's actually, I don't know. It's dumb. That's thin.
There we go.
And again, we're just jumping to conclusions. Oh, how is that guy still alive on the right? 10 years later.
I see. He said, I shut up myself. I think they're lying. I think it's a cover-up.
That guy on the right has got to be 90 years old now.
Yeah. So I think Atkins is saying, like, okay, I shot him. He did shoot him. He knocked him down, but he left. So
right.
I think there's definitely a cover-up in that regard. They're trying to, like, keep it secret so people don't get panicked and everything like that. So they don't keep going on about, like, is he still out there? Where is he? Stuff like that. So, okay, I can follow that. I think it was not... I think they did it kind of in reverse of where they should have done it.
Yes, get excited.
Yeah.
So, Old Man Winter there is pissed at Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
Because he's claiming that Harry Warden is back and murdering people because of what he did 10 years ago? What?
That doesn't fit.
He looks the same too. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just...
There's been no aging whatsoever.
Right. I could buy maybe 5 years. 10,
yeah.
You're stretching it with not doing a lot of makeup work or some other thing. I mean, they're...
As we record this, Tom Atkins is like 85 or something.
He's up there. Real life. He's well up there. And, he was already probably like close to 40 when he was doing The Fog.
Right. So...
If not past it.
Right. He was, our age.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now, then.
Yeah, I mean...
He's got that plastic up like Dexter in his house.
He's watching some movies now.
Irene.
That's what you do in the den at
Wait
night.
a minute.
At 2 in the morning.
She just said, yeah, I know. 30-second clips. She just said she called that lady Irene. So this is the same Irene from the opening?
Okay.
The naked girl.
Oh, yeah, I get you, yeah. It was on the car hood.
Right. I didn't put that together.
I didn't put any of that together. No. God, no.
I had no idea. Oh, you're going to be jealous? You've been married and you have a child.
For probably 8 years they've been married with the kid and stuff like that. It's like, come on, man.
And now you're jealous.
Like these drapes.
No.
No, you don't, no.
And I don't like that pillow, and I don't like... Oh, out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good catch there on the video. Now, why does he have the video at his home?
That should, unless they digitize it for him, made him a copy, I don't know, but...
I just don't understand...
That it looks like he was playing it right off the camera. I don't know.
It's weird.
No.
Either way, I don't know. What do I know?
Well, she's about to start working, so what are you bothering her for?
Right. She's walking into work.
Yeah.
Oh, 15 minutes before the store opens.
Ain't going no time, man.
Because, all the employees walk into a store as it opens. Yeah. There's no prep work whatsoever.
Fuck all with that.
I started work this morning 2.5 hours before the store opened. Just for reference.
Yeah. Oh.
Where the are they walking? She's only got 15 minutes.
Right. You think it'd be like, okay, I'm going to go in the store. We can talk while I'm setting things up in the store and counting the register, where the hell it is.
There's really a lot of, like, the premise of this anger towards the kid is coming from him selling the mine. And I don't know. There's no... It's so simple, the original story.
Right.
The fact that it's been 20 years, they haven't had a Valentine's dance.
Mm-hmm. And then we get a love triangle.
We got a love triangle, and... It's
not overcomplicated.
We also have the same inciting event that caused the original terror.
Yeah.
They're doing it again.
Yeah.
So the murders start again.
Right.
Like, it's...
And they got the whole town decorated like living in hell.
Right. I mean, it's a...
No one's even mentioned Valentine's Day in this whole thing in terms of, like, where we are in the present day.
Right. Not once.
Nothing.
Other than some candy in the background and...
There's nothing.
And the sheriff receiving the box of heart.
That's it. There's no other anything.
I guess what I'm getting at here is how simple storytelling used to be.
Yeah. Now it just feels like we're covering a lot of groundwork. There's got to be feels like there's more interpersonal drama here just to make more for the characters to do something in between the kills.
Like in the original Friday the 13th, you had an event that was traumatizing.
Yeah.
20 years later, we're reopening the camp. Guess what? That pisses her off. Now she's going to go back. It triggers.
We're right back where we were.
Right. Like, that is simple storytelling.
Right. And you just have light character dynamics to move the story around and create some likable characters and stuff like that.
This, the selling of the mine, the coming back to town love triangle, really has nothing to do with the original killer plot. Right?
Yeah, there's nothing there's nothing linking.
You had a mass murderer,
right,
who went crazy and killed people in the mine.
Yeah,
it just happens to be the same mine.
Right.
So there's no link other than like
it's just happening at the same time. That's all it is.
Right, like there's not even.
And they're trying to put the little things like, oh, he was in looking in the window in the background of the video. So it's like it just adds things. Like I don't know. Because in the original, the Harry Warren stuff just felt like urban myth in the background, hovering around the story, giving an atmosphere to certain things.
Well, it kind of gave the sheriff and the mayor something to do.
Right.
So
that's the action of the plot.
An avenue to investigate.
They're actively involved. They're investigating stuff. They're following up all the evidence.
They're shutting down the existing dance.
Yeah.
The whole reason that everybody ends up in the mine in the original one is because they canceled the dance at the...
Yeah.
And so they took it upon themselves to take the party down below.
Right.
Now... Here, I assume this is the midpoint.
We got about less than an hour left, so we're still a little longer ahead of it.
And the reason I said that is because at this point, they've set it up to where they want you to assume the returning Jensen Ackles is the killer.
Sure.
And in this scene, we now know that he's not.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I guess?
Sure. Because I don't know what this is.
Well, I guess we don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know. This could just be anger on the part of miners.
Yeah, that's the thing with the whole costume. You really don't know.
Well, I guess now we know.
Yeah.
Unless he's got a twin brother. Red. Usually these kinds of action sequences in 3D look really bad because, it's
too many quick cuts.
Right, it's too much edit.
You need to register what's going on more with the 3D stuff because...
Oh, shit.
Oh.
That's fun.
Well, there you go. The only example I have is that, like, when Michael Bay was making those Transformers movies, he had to, when he went 3D with them, he had to, like, okay, I have to do longer takes, longer shots. I can't cut quite as much because it disorients people when they're getting things moving around in 3D.
That Hitchcockian shot.
Yeah, the kind of retrograde zoom thing.
Yeah, I wonder how that played off in 3D. I don't remember. But I feel like it'd be weird. I feel like it'd be weird, right? Because you have both the zoom and the pullback. Yeah,
still doing a little bit there.
I forget what they call that in the movie.
Yeah, it's retrograde zoom.
Okay. I thought there was a nickname for it.
I think it's more like...
You know what I mean?
So either you're pushing in and zooming out or the reverse
the opposite,
or whatnot.
right. But I thought there was a
kitschy
nickname for that specific shot. I don't remember. So. But it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't know who did it first. I just kind of give it to Hitchcock.
Yeah, it usually is.
Red's dead. So, we know now that at least he didn't do that one.
Mm-hmm.
We assume he didn't do all of them. To me, it seems fairly obvious that it would be the sheriff, but watch it be something stupid like a woman.
I'm not saying anything.
Or Tom Atkins.
Oh.
Come over here and give me some candy. That's what I want.
Ah, that's a nice stitching makeup there. Little pliance.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm trying to work. I don't know, it's just a... Yeah, it feels like something doesn't feel right about the story.
It's the wrong energy. I just feel like I'm feeling like you get these bursts of horror, but then it's like everything just slows right down. And it's all interpersonal drama. So it's not bad that there's interpersonal drama to create characters with some semblance of a depth, but it just feels like I don't know. Just like the tone just feels weird because you're trying to do kitschy, gimmicky 3D stuff, then it goes down and it just feels like a regular sort of TV drama or something like that.
This feels like a very USA made-for-TV movie.
I mean, even watching, like, this digital cinematography has all that kind of weird motion blur smearing stuff.
Yeah.
The shutter speed's kind of weird. I mean, even how the thing's graded, it looks kind of flat, too. There's not a lot of contrast. It just looks like you whipped it up in 8 days or whatnot, and slept it out on network.
Right.
When you compare it again to the Friday thing that comes out a month later with his Jensen's co-star, Jared Padalecki, that thing had a lot of style to it. A lot of good production quality.
Right.
It looks like the complete opposite of this film.
Agreed. So they've now alerted us that it was a vigilante justice situation, and all of the old timers took out Harry Warden.
Okay, so they're saying that they took almost like a Freddy Krueger situation.
Right.
They took him out and they buried him somewhere, but we still never saw that. They shot at him, he fell down, but then he got up and ran away in the mine, and that's all we saw.
And is that to create doubt that this is accurate? Which I guess would be fine until this point.
Yeah, just the fact that these guys are telling it to us and saying, here's where we buried the whole thing. We're missing a piece of action that should have been shown to us at the forefront of the film. We'll have to wait here just a minute to see what happens with this dig up.
And now they're questioning whether he was even dead when they buried him.
Mr. Body's body is not...
That's right. Mr. Body's body.
Mr. Body's body is gone.
Now, if this was an actual police investigation, do you think that the girl and the former lover would come along on this journey?
That doesn't seem proper, no.
And the sheriff seemed awfully pissed about the love triangle aspect. Like, he's literally shouting at her about being the mother of his child and whatever. Like, am I really just the only one that thinks, like, she chose me? I should just, like...
Was I just a second pick because I stayed around?
Like, I would trust the marriage.
Right.
And the fact that she's talking to, like...
Is your marriage so insecure that this guy's been back for one day?
Right, that's what I mean.
And it's all falling apart?
Like how,
I don't know.
How insecure is this guy?
I mean...
Palmer. Axel Palmer.
Axel Palmer.
It's not his only asset. Surely the dad had a house or something that, like, everything was left to him, right? Now, we also didn't have a lot of backstory in the 10 years ago. You can't do that, sir.
No.
About what these two relationship was.
These are the only two cops in the whole town. Only ones who've seen the whole goddamn movie so far.
Probably.
Like Atkins, Old Man Winter. It's like, that's it. You guys are going to be here until they're 80.
Yeah. So now the sheriff has learned that
Ackles is sticking around because of his wife. And
right.
It's like, now what the fuck?
He also...
Like, you do that sitting right in front of the guy. It's like, I'm sticking around because I want to take your wife away from you.
Right.
It's the sheriff, he has a gun.
Again,
don't provoke him.
Again, it's still very on the nose.
Yeah, it's...
In the original story, it was, the guy came back to town and...
It stirred up old feelings.
Right.
It was just more natural tension.
It was, I get it. And she picked the other guy, and I'll just wait my time, and she'll see the error of her ways and come back, kind of thing. This is very let's fight about it.
It kind of shows a little bit of the different dynamic in how certain things were approached in different eras.
Right. Yeah.
It feels more like how someone would write somewhere around the 70s or whatnot, how they write that sort of love-lorn triangle type of thing.
Well, 1982 was still
right.
Still
so I think that's still the sensibility going up to like about 81 or 80,
oh yeah, it was 81. Yeah.
So you still got that sort of feeling on how people would write that type of thing, approach it a little bit more naturally. This feels more, again, prime
stay
time.
Out, stay alive. I love it. Go ahead. That's so.
But so how they write here feels more like a regular primetime drama. this is how you keep it going from week to week and kind of have obvious tension and obvious externalized type of things instead of trying to play things a little bit more subtle or something like that. So it just feels like
it definitely
weird different approaches that don't.
The times did change, and by this time, the folks in particular in America, but I assume around the world, really started to lose their attention span.
Sure.
And so you can't have a slow burn movie anymore.
Right.
Not to say that My Bloody Valentine 81 is slow burn, but there's definitely... It felt natural, like you said.
Right.
Everything about this feels like it's trying too hard.
Yeah.
And it really just makes me question, like, would this actually happen? Would this actually happen? Is this a natural, this happened and then that happened? And I just don't, like, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
It's like you're telling me, you know, the beats of the story, but
right.
I don't know. It's not. Also, there's not a lot of...
There's not as much quota of horror kills and gimmickry.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, in the original story, you had deaths as a warning to not have the dance.
Right.
And each one was accompanied by a little poem.
Right.
That said, you know, oh, now it's been 2.
Yeah.
Cancel the dance.
Or I'll have it thrice.
Right,
and all
right,
that stuff.
right. And, you know, and then, oh, this one makes 3. And it was...
Right.
It actually gave...
An escalation to the situation. It's getting worse. It's getting out of hand. We got to create more urgency with how the chief and everything is dealing with the situation and everything. So it's like...
And that...
You're heightening the terror.
That creates the narrative to cancel the dance.
Yes. There's no dance here.
Well, there's no dance. There's also no events that are creating...
the Valentine's theme. Aside from just a minor piece of prop there.
Right.
There's no anything about Valentine's Day that creates the atmosphere for it.
But what I was getting at is there's no event that really causes the next event to take place.
Right. There's no trigger point.
Right. This is a perfect case of this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. Not this happens, and because of that, this next thing happens.
I mean, also, again, we were talking about Valentine a year ago. It was like, it doesn't feel like it's really kind of taking advantage.
There's a 3D gag there.
We didn't feel like that film quite took as much advantage of the Valentine setting to really kind of create a gimmick about it or anything like that.
Right.
This is even less so.
Agreed.
At least that one tried to have at least some decoration or some kind of theme about love and relationships. It's like, this one's not...
We haven't even
doesn't feel like it.
We haven't even referenced the date.
This could be set in September or something. It doesn't feel like we're focusing on that, really.
And I don't understand.
That's not even a good gimmick. Just stick the blunt end now. Come on.
Again, everyone just assuming that it's Harry, even though this gentleman is one of the folks that, like, everybody in this costume is not Harry Warden.
Right. They never even dug up the thing they went out there to look for.
No.
They just stood there and all walked away.
And the fact that they named the character Harry Warden is... like, doesn't really have any reference to anything other than, like, let's make this a remake and call the character the same name. You know what I mean? Like...
There's some cops.
There's a couple of the
There's a few folks.
Yeah, there's quite a... Now I'm questioning how big is the town, actually, to necessitate that many cops. Like, you went from one extreme to the other. Is the general public allowed to look at these crime photos like she's just doing right now? That's what I mean.
Again, having them pinned up for people to just walk in
right,
and look
that's
at
what
it.
I mean.
It's just being, I don't think that's proper police work.
I don't think that's how things are supposed to work. The temper on this guy, Jesus Christ.
I'm sure it's there to also like, okay, maybe he's the guy.
I'm just how insecure is this character? Like
being the head of police in this area.
Right. And that's not good screenwriting to me.
No.
Because if just the returning X has caused him to
lose control,
completely change his entire persona to this hot-headed, jumping at conclusions.
Yeah,
it doesn't match the police
mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you doing? That doesn't...
That's not how you mop a floor.
No. It is definitely not. Is that the dress code for this particular supermarket?
I didn't know.
The little Daisy Dukes and a...
Yeah.
Oh, here's our first reference to Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And this feels, again, so...
drawn out? Belabored?
Yeah.
It's like every scene has to be about the relationship. It's about nothing else but that. The old timers, all they talk about is Harry Warden. All the other people just talk about the relationship. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's something...
There's a weird organic flow that's not present.
It feels like they created the like they're relying... Utz's chips are tremendous. There's a... they're relying on the mystery of who's in the costume.
Right.
As the entire premise of the story.
Sure.
I feel like. You know what I mean? There's not an actual mystery to be solved. I mean, I guess there is, but nobody's trying to actively solve it.
Right. Everything's just there. No one is actually doing anything about anything. It's just...
other than arguing about the relationship.
Right.
And whether the dairy warden's dead or not.
Just,
Microwave
because
snacks.
there's nothing else going on.
Well, I guess there's no background like a Valentine.
Nothing else is happening in this town, period.
Right.
No one talks to anyone else about anything except exactly the one thing that's happening right now.
And I feel like you need some sort of background, a backdrop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need a backdrop for everything to take place around.
Right.
And again, I'm not convinced there's a good reason that this minor character, Miner, not minor, like as in lesser.
The killer, yes.
Why he's even killing. You know what I mean? Because
why he's targeting some of the people he's going after. Some of them feel fairly random. It's like, who's he after here? Why is he here?
Right.
Of all the people in town, he's here.
And again, because there's no backdrop, there's no inciting incident for you to reference as to why he'd even be doing anything of this.
No one is doing anything in the story to motivate anything to happen. So they're all just here as people to go after for no reason.
I guess they could have gotten away with the backdrop of selling the mine, and maybe the town's going to dry up because, you know, like whatever.
But that happened 10 years ago, so that's not even a thing that's happening now. So
because the mine hasn't been active since then. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the way I was interpreting is that Ackles' father died,
right?
And he sold the mine off and he left town because he said they were saying like he didn't even show up to the funeral.
See, I thought that was recent.
I don't know. I see everything just being very confusing for me.
Because the girl said that after the incident, he just vanished.
Yeah,
Hanniger.
Okay.
And then he came back into town post-death just to sell the assets, basically.
Okay.
He didn't come to the funeral, but he showed up afterward to sell off the mine.
Right.
So I got it that the dad died recently.
Okay.
But I could also see, while these two are just being chased, for the sake of being chased, I could also see that maybe the mine has been shut down since that incident back then. But again,
but even then they got people actively in the mine. So
I guess then you're right. They don't. They don't. So or they did. So that means that it's still an active mine. So,
but it still has the Hanniger name on it. So everything just really, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at anymore.
Well, I guess.
But it's also the fact that nothing is actually happening in the background
for a reason.
For anything happening. There's nothing happening.
Right. There's no reason for any of this.
There's a lot of talk, but there's no action. So she's having to run all the way to the front door. How the hell did the killer get all the way around to the back window there in about like 5 seconds?
Yeah. Or even know that was a thing.
Right.
Like, I understand that stores have stock rooms and conveyor belts and whatever. I don't know how
where they're located.
I don't know how to access them.
No.
Just because I know that the grocery store has a back door doesn't mean I know how to get in it.
Right. It's a pretty big store, too. I mean, come on. Cops are still using revolvers at this point in time. That seems odd.
I don't know anything about guns.
Yeah.
But that is kind of odd. You're right. Yeah. It feels very
old school.
Old-timey. Like Atkins would have used that.
Right.
He just said, "Stay back, you bitch."
Oh, he did a lot of work.
That was a lot of setup in the last, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Ripped her fucking chest open, set up the prop, and... I don't know.
It's like Jason Voorhees staging all of the... nailing people up to the wall.
Even still, Jason didn't stop to kind of, put props together and write things on the freaking wall.
Well, yeah.
More like Halloween 2. He goes off, kills some people, goes off to the schoolhouse, writes some stuff on the wall and in blood, and goes off and runs off to the hospital and fucks around with a couple of cars and cuts up some tires.
He was everywhere in that damn movie.
There must have been 6 of them running around this town like freaking Halloween 4 with the guys in the gang with the masks.
And where are the police?
All right.
I guess he, you know what I mean?
The other guys are off duty. They work they're part-time cops.
Like, he doesn't want to, I mean, I guess he was...
And as you usually say, sheriff is usually a county thing, not a city thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which would make sense for a small mining town. You'd probably have a county sheriff dealing with the thing, maybe. I don't know. But I don't bet on Todd Farmer knowing what the sheriff does anyway, so.
No, it really sticks in my craw that, like, the word sheriff is such a, it's
written off from, like, Western.
It's got an iconic, like, memory to it. Right.
But yeah, because in the original one, it was just chief.
Now, why is the housekeeper getting murdered in front of the kid? Right.
It's too weird. As we're setting the whole thing up here, not knowing where it's going, it feels very all over the place. Is he trying to take out the guys who tried to kill Harry before? Is he going after the what's his people, the sheriff and his wife and stuff like that, or
the love triangle?
Then he kills the friend of the wife. Again, we don't have a clear parameter of where we're going, so it's like it's all over the place, and we don't really. You can't follow a certain progression because it's too much. It's trying to cover up all the holes. If it's this guy, then that covers that thing. But if it's this guy, then that covers that thing. So we have to cover everything so you can keep guessing through the whole film.
Which then, I mean, it's so sloppy,
right?
That it really makes you. It points out how bad of a movie it is,
right?
Unlike the events of, we'll say, the original My Bloody Valentine, who just happened to be, young adults wanting to have a dance,
yeah,
or, it just happens to be camp counselors who are going to work working at the camp.
Right.
They were at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Like, there were circumstances that caused correct or incorrect consequences.
Right.
They might not be justified consequences, but here there's no circumstances.
Right. Again, there's still nothing Valentine about. No Valentine's Day backdrop of anything here.
I mean, at least Valentine that we covered last year, they were sending Valentine cards. There ultimately was a dance at the end.
Yeah, the big party.
Or whatever. It got there eventually.
Yeah.
It wasn't done enough, but I mean, there was a little here and there,
Yeah, he's got a little revolver there.
Might be the same one he had from Night of the Creeps. Which was over 20 years prior to this.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's so stupid because of the aliens and the whatever, the cryogenic whatever, but God, I love that movie.
Bad brickwork.
I think it's supposed to be latticed like that, but it's not good.
I don't think it's not doing well.
Rhythmic squeaking is what it says on the subtitle. Oh, here's a callback to the original. Almost the exact same shot.
Yeah.
To the original.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Tom Atkins. We love you.
Yeah.
And the 3D again. Like, oh, God. Oh shit. Jesus.
No, God, no.
What are you doing, folks?
Cut that out of there.
That was bad. That looked like Jaws 3
oh,
with
God.
the shit flying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Or Freddy's Dead, or...
Oh.
Didn't mean to bring up bad memories.
Rough times, man.
But,
you need some of that shitty film stock to cover up the bad effects.
There you go. I don't love when the remakes use the same shots and gags.
It's too telling.
I don't know. It's just so... All it does is...
It's too pandering.
It emphasizes the, why did you make this movie?
Right.
Like, that was already done once. If you want me to pretend that the original doesn't exist, and you want me to go into this fresh...
Right.
Don't rehash the stuff that was in the original.
Exactly.
Checked out. Oh my God. I guess you can check yourself out of the hotel, but I feel like you're not supposed to. Are you allowed to just get up out of the hospital?
I don't know.
I feel like you can, right? You're strongly advised to not just leave, but...
Green screen ain't doing well.
Oh, in the back?
This
looks bad.
Way too fake. This one especially. This angle looks bad. Damn.
Well, yeah,
it looks really cheap.
It looks like a USA special.
How much did they spend on this bastard?
Well, I guarantee you 80% of their money went to the 3D. Even with digital, it's still expensive as fuck to shoot.
Still, give me a second here.
I'm giving you all the time you want.
14 million.
Well, that's actually not that bad.
That's kind of on the downside, yeah. If it was like 24 million, it's like, okay, what the fuck?
It feels...
But...
I don't know.
From what I remember, that's the same budget Jason X had.
This looks just like it.
Speaking of Farmer.
This looks just like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's about the same quality.
That's what I mean.
Fucking effects work.
Right. Did he put himself in that movie too? I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, he was one of those commando guys in the VR environment thing.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, fuck all.
He's an idiot.
Fuck all.
Now, I guess there's something to the idea that the sheriff, despite being in a love triangle, assumes that he's the killer and wants to protect his wife. Now, I feel like there's some ways that you could go about making that better.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why do they think he's the killer, aside from him just being on the videotape in the background looking through the window. I still don't know what the evidence is towards that end.
That's a great point.
It just seems like personal vendetta. I don't like this guy. He's pissing me off. I think he's the bad guy.
Well, especially because other people visually saw him in the mine.
In the cage.
And not, and saw somebody else acting
which
as
was locked from the outside.
Right. The door was locked from your side.
Let us in, let us in, let us out, let us out.
Oh, God, here's a 3D gag waiting to happen with a tree. Right. Oh, through both windows, sure. Sure.
Better done than found Destination 2.
Yeah, but...
Even though it wasn't 3D.
That one wasn't made for 3D.
Yeah, but that was a lot better fucking sequence, man.
Well,
just the whole log is right through and smashing his head open. That's worth money.
Yeah, it was money, and that was 10 years before this.
Not even. That was like six years. I guarantee you, New Line spent more money on than Lionsgate spent on this thing.
Final Destination 2 isn't bad. It's
a nice splatter flick. It's fun.
Yeah. And I tell you what, it has traumatized me to any sort of, logging truck on the highway.
You and about 100,000 other people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what an iconic image.
Oh, yeah.
And
that sequence is still iconic.
What do people remember from this movie? Nothing.
Nothing. It's a bad 3D effects.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I get, I'm okay with the idea of a remake if it is a lesser-known movie
that has some flaws to it
that you can update to make it better, to make it more modern. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so I know that that's not the type of movie that you cover necessarily, but when they remade, again, A Star is Born recently with Lady Gaga.
They've done quite a few of those.
There's been several, but it's always been an update with a more modern twist.
Yeah.
The same basic story, but a
Yeah.
And, okay, fine. There's no... I mean, aside from cell phones, like, there really isn't a modern twist to this.
Right.
There's no upgrade.
Right.
You know, we've covered The Hills Have Eyes, which was, you know, kind of a throwaway movie in the 70s.
Yeah.
And they put some beef into it.
Yeah.
And made it into a scary fucking movie.
Yeah.
In the aughts.
Yeah.
Or whenever it came out.
Yeah. 07.
Oh, there you go.
06 or 07.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. Like, okay, My Bloody Valentine was not a big successful film.
No. Very much cult.
Yeah, right. It wasn't a blockbuster. Honestly, I think the first time I ever saw it was on like late night, TBS.
Okay.
Like,
sure.
Not even all that gory, the TV edit, whatever. Probably on Valentine's Day or whatever, and I was a kid. I don't think I rented it. I'm pretty sure I watched it on network TV.
I rented on VHS in the late 90s.
Is this the card from back then?
I guess so.
I don't remember.
Who's Megan?
Megan is the girl at the grocery store.
Okay. She had like 2 scenes in the whole film.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so distracted.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Empty boxes. Where are we at now? Whose house is this?
I haven't the faintest goddamn idea. Looks like they had the crash. He just ran into some random place.
Now, if this was actually Axel the sheriff, why would he attack her?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His beef would be with frickin' Tom.
Right.
And there's no one else.
Right.
We haven't resolved anything about the Harry Warden
death
myth or anything.
Right.
They left it hanging in the air like 40 minutes ago.
Is he or isn't he dead?
Right. Here's where we buried the bones. I'll have a conversation and we'll change the topic we're not going to dig him up.
Are you sure he was dead when they buried him?
Right.
I don't know. He didn't have a pulse. Like, you extended the myth, but then never backed it up.
It's like if at the end of Dream Wars, they drove all the way into the junkyard. It's like, oh, he's right in that trunk. It's like, I want to go grab a beer or something. Yeah. What else you got going on tonight?
So, where I was going before is, I feel like My Bloody Valentine was a prime candidate for a remake. Like,
yeah.
I was okay with the idea of remaking it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the era of everything got remade. There were no new movies. It was only let's make sequels and remakes.
A lot of that. And despite this thing made a lot of fucking money, it was still kind of reaching an oversaturation point. People were just getting real sick of it. They're still kind of sick of it today because it really hasn't gone away. It's just gotten more prevalent. It's like, now we're going to do a prequel to this thing, or we're going to do a weird fucking sequel, or it's like we're going to kind of not reboot it. Everything's just weird. Everything's got to be an IP.
Right. That was another scene right out of the original.
Yeah, they had the whole thing with the laundry area. At least that one tried to have a sex scene or something like that. It had something more going than just
a chase.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
right now we're in the era of like reboot,
recycle and all.
But it's a sequel, but it's
soft reboot era.
A soft reboot era, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, soft reboot is a good name for it because they're all like sequels to the original, or let's remake,
market it like
as if it were
as a clean slate, but it's not a clean slate,
right? Even including the new Scream movie, which is just called Scream.
Yeah,
it's not Scream 5,
but they want to make it a Scream 6, so that's going to be complicated when that happens. If it happens, which I'm sure it will happen.
Of course, it'll happen. Everything happens.
Well, he's not dressed anywhere like he was a minute and a half ago.
Right.
Than when you last saw him.
And I'm still confused as to where it was they found that, but, you know, I
mean, the thing about the original is that they had a cast of characters.
Right.
This has 3 people in the whole film, basically, to have anything to do with the entire plot.
They also, their cast of characters was killed off in the prologue.
Right. Right. That's the problem. You don't have any other dynamics or anything else to bounce off of, or anyone else to kind of pace out the cannon fodder to a degree or something like that.
Or
have
murder victims along the way.
Right.
Or even potential swerve,
right.
you know.
Right. It's just way too tied up in the love triangle thing.
Which was an element of the original.
They've so overemphasized to be like, it is the main plot point of the entire film. So it just kind of like, it doesn't leave room for anything else. There's no room for other characters to come in and fill out the story to create more dynamics or anything like that to entertain you or engage you with anything like that. So it's like, all you have to do is like, who's crazy, who's vindictive, who has feelings for who, and who's upset with who. It's just a little too... It's too overcomplicated to me. It's like, if you tame down the gore, it just feels like some random thriller on A&E or something like that, you know?
Well, here's the other thing. I kind of don't care who it is anyway.
Right. And fuck all, though I give a shit. It doesn't really matter. Because everyone's kind of a dick anyway in this whole thing. There's not really any engaging character here.
Right. I mean, she's likable because she's pretty and, you know, she's a victim.
Yeah.
She's a final girl, so to speak.
Sheriff, he's a fucking jackass.
Well,
he's nothing but a hot-headed, short-fused type of guy who's been nothing but vindictive the whole time. And now he's crazy. He's delusional and hallucinating.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. He's the killer.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. No wonder I blocked this out of my memory completely.
Right.
Wait, so he dug up the mask and the pickaxe from the gravesite? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's so thin.
And again, it's like, okay, again, that brings up the whole thing, this thing here. So, but he wasn't dressed that way when he was in the frickin' thing, was he? I don't know. I can't keep track of this shit. He didn't have the gas mask and all that type of stuff when he was locked in the cage. He just had the hard hat, I think.
I don't think he did, yeah.
None of it makes any fucking sense. You're almost trying to do an inverse, like, Friday Part 5.
Kind of, yeah. But not...
Even Friday Part 5, we enjoy it, but the trying to do fake out with the Tommy thing didn't quite work. But now they're trying to do the entire plot worth in the last, 5 minutes of the movie here.
In Friday 5, though, it's only a couple people that think that it's Tommy.
Yeah.
But the audience doesn't believe it's Tommy.
No, but they're trying to make you convinced that they're showing he's hallucinating, he's kind of have these violent outbursts. There is at least something there to at least pull a thread on, to at least try to make it seem halfway credible. They're trying to jam that entire thing into the last 5 minutes here. He's hallucinating, he's kind of crazy, but now it actually is that he is the killer instead. So
it's have your cake and eat it too.
Right. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't work. Because you haven't really made anyone really that charming or anything like that. No one's really endearing in the entire film.
I don't even know how you would go about exploiting his mental illness
without tipping the hand too much.
Right, throughout the film.
Right.
Like, there might be a way, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the most they do is set it up that... I don't know. That he's there at the beginning when all the people are getting slaughtered, and that's about the most you get out of it when when Atkins comes in and tries to kill Warden and all that type of stuff, but... I don't know. Because that's meant to be... That entire prologue is meant to be the set-up towards this.
Right.
That he's there to witness the trauma of everyone getting killed, and then he kind of just becomes Harry Warden. But it's just not dramatically sound in how the whole thing is structured and put together. It's just like... And again, maybe if you flipped it to a certain degree, like Smith's character, the sheriff, maybe he's trying to be more endearing and he's not the only one, but Ackles is. Maybe he's more antagonistic about the entire thing. I don't know. Someone's got to be likable here in terms of, we got to get behind at least more than one character, I think. Because I feel like he spent the last hour being, not liking the sheriff because he's been antagonistic and he's been vindictive, all that type of stuff, so you're not really sympathizing with him. You're sympathizing with the wife, of course.
Right.
But you're not so phased as much by Tom having this switch, because I know Ackles is I watched Supernatural for a very long time. I know Ackles is a very good actor. He can deliver some great stuff when you put it in the script, but you got to put it in the script.
Right.
You can't just make it come out of nowhere.
It would have been interesting if maybe the girl was the one that was the aggressive one.
Maybe, yeah.
And, both of these guys were likable, and she was the one...
Right, maybe that's what you go for.
Or what a fun twist would have been, like I even joked about at the beginning, is if she were the killer.
Sure, maybe.
But, again, there's still no backdrop.
Right. Again... I don't even know that this is even taking place on Valentine.
What? Stop this bullet shit.
That's like the beginning. That's like the beginning of Die Another Day. Only worse. Remember that one where they got the gun barrel sequence, but they had the bullet go right into the screen?
Yeah, but that was... I don't know.
It was still bad.
It was bad.
It was still bad. A lot of bad CGI in that one.
The waves were the worst, but...
Oh, that was really bad. Really, really bad.
I feel like you need... You gotta have some sort of background story developing. I threw out the idea of them closing the mine and all of the miners are gonna lose their jobs.
Yeah, something.
And there's, I don't know,
serve some discourse in the background of the story.
Is that where it ends?
How is there blood when it only pierced the freaking lens of the freaking mask and not the guy's body?
Yeah, I don't know. Just stop asking questions.
Yeah. It's... Ending just feels real flat, man. The entire climax just doesn't work.
Yeah, because I didn't care about anybody to begin with.
Yeah.
Wait, he's still alive?
Everything blew up down there. Someone should be scarred or something, man.
I thought he got a gut wound.
Yeah, he did. He got... Yeah, fuck off.
Those jackets would have been a lot better if they were green.
Sure, this thing doesn't have enough sense for that.
Yeah, the whole mine blew up. Where's the char?
Where's the smoke billowing out or something?
Where's her Loomis scar that moves around her face?
Sure. Oh, that must be him down there. He's walking out. No problem.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't even tell me that that's him.
Yeah. They tried pitching a sequel right before the film was released, and then the film got such mixed reviews, Lionsgate just lost all interest. That's for the better.
That does not make any sense whatsoever.
Zero.
Like, the whole movie didn't make a lot of sense. That really just...
He got shot through himself, the thing blew up, and he's still alive. Able to get himself out of the rubble and walk out and change clothes. It's almost like Halloween H2O and to Resurrection. He just changed clothes and fuck all. Because who cares? Who cares about logic at this point?
This B-roll footage of going into the mine is some of the best footage I've seen of the whole movie. Like, this is atmosphere right here. Mm-hmm.
This is what the film was missing.
How much of this movie took place in the mine?
Not a hell of a lot.
15 minutes tops.
Not even half as much as the original film.
Between the opening sequence and the last sequence,
mm-hmm.
And then I guess the one scene in the Shark Tank.
Yeah, and again, no one even said this was even taking place on Valentine's Day.
I didn't know that.
There was nothing here about saying, "Hey, this is Valentine's Day. We're having something going on with Valentine's." It has nothing to do with it. There's zero to do with. You can remove the props of the little boxes and replace it with anything, and just has nothing to do with anything.
Right, just regular gift boxes.
Right. Just why? Why would you do it and not make use of the gimmick? It just blows right over my head.
Yeah, I don't know how did this movie even got approved other than the studios were so hard for remakes because it's easy money.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any work of creating new ideas.
You've already got a screenplay to just kind of shift some things around and rewrite a few things here and there.
Like, Farmer is Alexei Shoelace's plots is a great...
Yeah.
You've already... Farmer is... he's not good, but he's good enough at what he does to be able to craft, like, a little bit of chicken salad out of chicken...
Snowy Highfield. Blood Girl Jacobs.
You know what I mean? Like, he's able to rework stuff enough that he ends up with a script. You know.
He has words on a page, and it's about, 80 pages long.
Right.
That's about as much there is you can say.
So you probably don't have to pay him much.
Oh, hell no.
You've already got...
It's not Aaron Sorkin or some shit.
Hell no. Are you kidding me? Aaron Sorkin is... one of those freaks...
I'll write him about half a sentence.
Freaks of nature. Aaron Sorkin is a freak of nature. He's a savant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's one of those people that is like a 1 in a billion...
Sure.
Talent a generational talent.
And Farmer thinks he's fucking gold or something.
Frank Darabont, right.
Yeah, he thinks he's all he's platinum gold or some shit, you know?
Rene Russo.
What? Where? What?
Post-production sound accountant. Not the Rene Russo.
Well, maybe she needs some money. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm very impressed with this mine footage. Like,
where was this the whole film? Yeah.
This needed to be like the opening credits.
Yeah.
Something.
I don't know.
There's no, like, there's no Valentines. There's no real mine. Like, you didn't even have to have miners.
No, this could be a steel mill.
It could be
anything.
anything.
You could still take any kind of.
It could have been a bowling alley. I don't care.
Sure.
Like, there again, no backdrop. It was.
Yeah, it's both overwritten and underwritten at the same time. You put so much emphasis on some things, then you had no emphasis on anything else.
How is that even possible? Overwritten and underwritten. Supervision of production. Curtis Miller, fuck you.
Why? Just because he's here.
You supervise this shit. It's your fault.
Jan Elvira? Oh.
I don't know. Everything about this irritates me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this is death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it's so. What am I looking for? It's so rote to a certain degree. It's just so thin in what it's doing. And
anorexic.
It's just like there's no depth, but everything is stretched so far out too. They stretch the thinnest material of this film so far out, and then you have some random shit here for no reason.
Right. What is that supposed to indicate if we think that Tom Hanniger has left?
Right. Left the building.
I don't understand what this epilogue is trying to
convey to you. Yeah.
Right.
Probably fuck all of anything.
Just one more sight gag?
That was just shit. No one's sticking around for that, you know?
Fuck no.
No one is just sticking around for that horse shit.
No.
They left like 5 minutes ago.
At least. I wish I left 5 minutes ago. Damn it. All right,
Yeah.
well, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I hope you do something slightly more festive than was even remotely conceptualized in this movie.
So, guys, thanks so much. We'll have exceptionally better stuff coming up after this.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, guys, thanks so much. Bye-bye.
See ya.